Hey everyone, welcome back to the Tears of Fire podcast, a podcast where I go over The Last Dragon Chronicles by Chris DeLacy. Today I am joined by my second guest. He's making his second appearance, Mr. Collin Reed.
Howdy.
And what we're going to be doing is kind of doing a review. As you guys know, up to this point, I've been going through this entire third book solo, and you guys have only been hearing my side, my point of views, my thoughts. And so I figured I'd bring Colin back to kind of catch up with us, go over the second half of the second book, maybe a little bit too in our review. If you guys remember, Colin was last on when Auntie Gwyneth was starting to pose as Gulana, and that stuff was kind of starting to kick off in book two. So there's not going to be any real structure to this. We'll probably jump around quite a lot. If you guys have questions or you guys want to point something out, please reach out. My Gmail is gadzooks@gmail.com. And yeah, thanks for joining me, Colin.
Howdy.
So, what was from your last appearance? What was the last thing you remember from book two before you continued reading on?
Last thing I remember before book two was Gwilana showing up and starting to be like a sketchy little witch lady without being told that she was a sketchy little witch lady. Like it was kind of like, is she immortal? Has she been here forever? Who is she?
Was
Why
she
does she
still
know
Auntie
everybody?
Gwyneth, or was
She
she outed?
she had been outed because David is an eavesdropper and he was in the hallway and he heard something. He heard the dragon whispering to the suitcase, which I don't think we really touched on a whole lot because it was brand new. And so that was all sketchy and stuff. And then he left to go to Bacon's house to do Bacon things.
To go stay with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how did you feel with the end of that book when Guilana they had that big battle at the end, and then, if I'm remembering correctly, it's been a couple months already, and now that we're into a new book, but David didn't really do much in that fight. I remember him getting buried under a bunch of rubble, and then Xana kind of finishing off. So, what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I was like, it was kind of like it happened all at once, kind of weirdly. To be honest, like it really was like Greth and Bonington doing the majority of it, like trying to steal the scale and whispering and get Zooks with the escape plan, and everybody getting caught, and then all of a sudden David's there with a polar bear tooth, or not with a tooth, but like getting knocked down to the ground, and like now he's dead. And it's like, okay, well he kind of died out of nowhere. That was kind of gnarly. And then, I mean, with Zana like threatening the egg and stuff, and was it Greth, I believe, that put the tooth in his hand, dropped it through the cracks in the floor, and it landed in his hand, or was that Zooks after he was?
See, that's what I was going to say. Is I can't remember if it was Graith or Gadzooks, but it's one of the two being David's dragon. I would
Mm-hmm.
assume that they made the major play. That does sound like a Graith thing to do because even though Graith has been new, air quotations, new to the scene, this guy's been a big player, and I kind of like him. He seems,
He's a sneaky snake.
yeah, he gives off like young, like maybe in dragon terms, like teenage vibes. He's kind
Yeah,
of learning the limits and pushing boundaries, but with overall good. So with him having, um,
he's the fastest kid in class right now.
yeah, he's the fastest kid in class. Liz kind of goes on to say that Graith is one of the only properly working wishing dragons she's
Hmm.
ever seen, and that wishing dragons are super connected to the universe too.
Okay, but riddle me this, okay? Because this happens at the end of the last book, kind of weirdly brief, okay? Greth still works when the ice fire is out, when he accidentally dumps it down the drain, because he was made by Lucy.
Yes.
So, where's Lucy's Alma? How did she get it? Why does Greth not affected? And then he can breathe life? Because he does. He breathes life back into Gazooks. I remember that. That's why I can't remember who gives him the tooth. Because they
Mhm.
breathe life back into, you
Back
know what I'm
into him.
saying? Yeah. So it's like, where is his power? Because Lucy doesn't seem to have her own Alma, or at least Liz doesn't want her to think she does.
Right, not yet. Well, and we know that Lucy gets some of that ice fire for herself, but that's after the fact. They come back and gift her that at the end of book two. Yeah, I don't
Is it
remember.
maybe is it Gaia power then? Do you
I
think because of Zana and her little amulet type dealy deal?
I
I mean
mean,
that's later too, but like it glows on her.
yeah, I mean Gaia seems to be a part of this story period, which has been interesting because In all of the fantasy stories and lore that I've ever heard, Gaia and dragons don't really go together.
No.
And this one's bringing them in to be almost one and the same.
Well, other books, I would say other, not even just other books, other media portrays dragons as like destructful and like always like even in like Lord of the Rings, they're deceitful and they're always like out to kill humans and stuff. But this book doesn't do that. This book's like they smell good smells in the bathroom after you go to the bathroom, and they heat the house and they dust the shelves. Like these aren't like they're like Oompa Loompas almost. You know what I'm saying? They're not destructive, terrible beings. And like even when they're talked about like the old ones that were hunted by man, that's just man's greed. You know what I'm saying? They saw something big that they could feed their whole village with for like 6 months and make killer armor out of everything and weapons and stuff. And they hunted them down to the last nine. Who knows what their actual motives were? But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not even portrayed in the ancient old days as like terrifying and
And
destroying. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Like, they're the peace bringers and the balancers of the earth. They come from the clay. So it's like this. Even in the olden times, they don't describe them as violent,
they were almost
like mystical,
revered a little
yeah,
bit,
like
you know?
wisdom creatures instead of like scary creatures, which is a lot different than most media.
Yeah. So one of the things I want to touch on too is we found out that Xana is a descendant from Guilana herself,
Yeah,
and that's why she's got her civil powers. Then obviously
crazy.
the Penny Kettles come from Guinevere's. So what's fucking confused me is how David, seemingly to be yet so far unexplained powers, because he's a normal dude. He came from normal lineage. It's specifically stated that he came from just a normal family from out in the Midwest. How did he come into this spotlight to become this powerful? He's got a writing dragon that helps him write the
They say
future.
this once. Hold on. They say this once, okay? Creativity is the armor of the universe. So maybe David's just so creative. The universe has smiled upon him and given him his own power of sorts, right? Which has drawn him to other power struggles to kind of like equalize or balance them. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe David's the dragon of the universe, a normal dude from the
Yeah,
Midwest.
yeah.
You know?
David just gives me that feeling of like if I was writing a story and I was the main character, I feel like I would write it the way that David is writing his stories. You
Absolutely.
know, where
Nothing flashy about himself.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
just a dude.
Well, not even that, just yeah, like maybe just that normal dude that can go into fantastical events. You know, like what another good example for this for me would be like The Hobbit. You know,
Yeah.
when they first come over, Bilbo doesn't want any part of it. He just wants to be from the Shire,
He's just
chill,
a
have a
normal
good.
short dude.
Yeah, and then Gandalf is the one that's telling him, "You must go on this adventure to help them reclaim the Lonely Mountain." So
Is Gadzooks David's Gandalf?
I would say that's a good
Because he
comparison.
tells him what he has to do, and when he's like, I don't want to do that, he's like, do it!
And he's his inspiration. David can't really write without Gadzooks, which we see that, Frodo couldn't do anything
The ring.
without the ring or without Gandalf. And when he had neither of those, he had to have Gollum. So he couldn't do anything alone, dude. I don't want to say worthless. People are going to jump my freaking case for that one. Sam did more work than
He
Frodo,
needed guidance.
even
He
for
was
his
capable, but
stories.
he needed someone to tell him what to do. He was not a self starter.
With that being said, we know that the third book starts off with David writing his new story. And what are your thoughts on that one with the Bears?
I think it's cool. I like how he's doing it. Like moved from a squirrel in the yard and a hedgehog. Now he's doing bear research. Now he's doing a bear. It just kind of makes sense for him to follow it that kind of way. Especially like if I was writing books, it'd have to be something I was interested in, right? And what better than what I'm currently doing or watching or seeing? But I think it's extra crazy that he's like writing it into existence without realizing he's doing it, which brings me back to like creativity is the alma of the universe. You know what I'm saying? Like he's literally writing it in existence, and it's like dragons aren't doing that. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you know what? And when I was reading that, it made me a little upset with David because you just got done dealing with this squirrel event where you had little instances that you knew, hey, okay, what I was writing is eerily similar to real life right now, right? They already called that out. They already knew. So if you know that there's a connection between what you're writing and what's happening, why would you write yourself into danger, making a polar bear out of all animals come after you, and including Guilana, this evil person that you just had a huge fight with. Like,
Who's real?
who's real?
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
like what? How was that a good idea by any means? And what do you think the ramifications of that is going to be?
I think he's really gonna hurt himself, and then like once he comes to realize it, he's not gonna be able to, I guess, take like the coward's way out. I would say, you know what I'm saying? Because like once he does realize it, he's focused on the girls right now. He's got Sana, he's got Sophie. Which, by the way, the end of the Sophie thing really great. That was really simple. If made everyone feel good, no one's hurt. I like that. But like once he figures it out, he's not gonna just be like, well, Guilana dies. Because he could just be like, oh, I'm writing this. She gets hit by a train, and then immediately there's no more problem. You know what I'm saying? Like we can start fixing some stuff, but he's not gonna have that. He's gonna keep his journalistic integrity. There's gonna be a huge fight, and he's gonna save the day as a normal.
I thought about that exact same thing too. Of like, if it really did come down to David and his writing, that yeah, you just write that Guilana gets fucking smashed or destroyed by. So he wrote
Just
her.
smoked by a train.
Yeah, I was gonna say he wrote her as a bird, and we saw that later in there that Guilana has been shapeshifting into a raven as well. So it would be easy for that. But
She breaks her wing.
it doesn't help when you're being sabotaged because we got that one part with groin,
Yeah.
groin. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's spelled Growyn.
I think it's NY or YN. Yeah, one of the two.
Yeah, groiny.
Groin.
But he was sent and just to fuck shit up and then report back to Bergstrom.
Which is sus.
Yeah.
Bergstrom's with the Bears, man. What's going on with that?
Well, and we know that the Bears are the ones that gave Lucy and Liz the fire star, or not the fire star, the ice fire to begin with.
Uh-huh.
But where did Bergstrom get this dragon? Because Liz, there's been no mention of Liz making him a dragon.
He's making his own dragons?
And see, that's where I was wondering.
Is he? I just had this thought as you were saying it out loud, okay? You have a mom and a dad to make a baby sometimes, right?
Yes.
So what if Bergstrom and Willana were together and married, split, because they had different opinions on different ways they wanted things to go, right? Willana wants the dragons to take back over. Bergstrom's about the bears. What if Bergstrom has a deal with the bears? Where it's not like nothing is as good as it seems,
Well,
right?
I think if you're kind of looking from the outside in, that would make a little bit of sense. But what gives that more credit is that Bergstrom has an extended life too. Because if we remember that
He's in Henry's fucking study, dude.
yeah, he's in Henry's study back from I think it was like 1914 or
Yeah, on the wall of the polar bear.
and he tells that exact story that Bacon was telling to David as well. So we know it's one and the same.
But from a different perspective as well. From like, you know what I'm saying? Like Bergstrom told it from first person, whereas Bacon told the story.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, he was definitely there. He was definitely that dude that Henry was telling the story about.
Yeah.
100%. He's immortal as well.
And this
he
guy
has the Inuit talisman and the bear tooth. Because bear tooth didn't come out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was summoned through the wind. It came with a gust of the wind through the window because the bears were there. But end of book 2, Bergstrom takes David and says, hey man, here's all the bears. You know what I'm saying? So he's a part of that.
Yeah.
He's a part of that.
Okay, and so I didn't understand. I wasn't very positive, but I thought Bergstrom had transformed into a bear at the end of book 2. If I was right when they were taking David.
No, they say that David turns around to chase after Bergstrom after hearing that Grackle turned to stone.
Right.
And he turns around and all he finds is some footprints and some claw prints.
Okay. So it was just inferred.
Footprints and bear prints, though, was inferred. So it's Bergstrom walking away with the bears. So
not changing into.
Yeah, so footprints with the bear prints, and they're being dusted by the snow. Is how I remember it.
Okay. For some reason, I've been having it in my head that Bergstrom can transform into a bear.
I feel like he can. But he hasn't showed me his cards.
Yeah, not quite yet because
I was right about Guilana.
I was gonna say I remember David going to meet the bears, and there were all 9 of them. And I was thinking, my theory was that Bergstrom was Laurel, was the teller.
Yeah, but Laurel was there.
But exactly, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, Laurel was there. So if he is a bear, could he be? My next theory would be Thorin, because I don't think Thorin was part of the 9. Thorin was the original bear.
I believe so.
He was okay.
I just read it like 2 hours ago.
It was Ragnar,
Thorin and Laura. And then there's someone
Thorin
else, I
and
believe.
Laura.
No, it's the Napat whatever.
Yeah, the Nanook or
Yes,
something like.
that is like the head bear or whatever. It's one of
And
those.
I think that's the only one that can transform. And we didn't know
Ye-
who that was, but that wasn't Bergstrom, I didn't think. But then again, you like this guy's been in the Arctic up in Canada studying polar bears forever.
In Norway.
In Norway, and how did he, my question is, how the fuck did he get a dragon? Where did this dragon come from? Who made it? How does he have this ability to be invisible? Because we haven't seen that yet in any of the dragons.
At all. I mean, Greth going through dimensions and stuff, that's pretty but like, invisible?
Right.
But it's like also, he's Bergstrom's in the same town. That makes sense to me. Maybe Penny Kettle sells them at the market. Maybe he did buy one. Maybe he's influenced it just as Gretel was influenced by Gulana to do bad things with her potion making. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that can actually, like, I could see that because, like you said, Liz does sell the dragons in the market. I think it said that she doesn't she doesn't sell her special dragons.
To just anyone.
Thorin and Bergstrom and the Bears also know where the Ice Spire is and have complete unfiltered access to it at all times.
Yeah, well, and who's to say that one of the Inuit people in the tribe that know about the dragons and the bears didn't make her dragon? Who's to say that there's not another crafter out there of dragons? You know what I'm saying? Someone with armor or something like that. Because we just found out that Zana's a random lady, by all accounts.
Yeah.
She's a random lady who has a rich daddy.
Yeah.
Who's not Bergstrom.
And okay, so and that made me wonder. Oh, I don't know if I can say that because you're not quite that far. We'll hold off
Fair,
on that.
fair.
Just say it. Okay, so where I'm at, a couple chapters ahead, right? You got to the point to where Lucy was kidnapped, and then up to where Xana was kidnapped.
Yep.
Do you know where Lucy went?
No.
No.
I would like to know. Please tell me.
Okay, so
Please enlighten
Lucy,
me, sir.
Lana took Lucy to the cave where Gwaine died. They're on Ragnar's Tooth on the island.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and so they kind of talked about it in book 2, where Gwilana or Auntie Gwyneth has been there for the birth of every penny kettle and to train every penny kettle. And they always are taken away to train at 11. So when Lucy gets kidnapped, that's at the first break, I'm pretty sure, at the end of part 1, into part 2 when that happens. And then it opens up with Liz saying that they shouldn't really actually focus on Lucy, which is wild. If an 11-year-old if my 11-year-old got kidnapped, what are we talking about, dude? Like, I'm not Liam Neeson, so I couldn't go full Taken mode, but I'd at least try.
We can go
you know?
Expendables or something, A-Team.
Yeah, yeah. But so she says to not worry about it and to focus more on Grayth, which I mean I do agree because
He's a powerful dragon, man.
transformed into a portal into nowhere, fucking not knowing. Did you get to the point to know what happened with him?
No.
Not yet.
So I heard that he got into a fight with Gretel
Okay.
because Gretel was being locked in a cage and being treated like a villain. She didn't like it too much. And that's what Roy did. He snuck in and helped her get free and start the fight, which is whack because, like, why incite a fight? Because it seems like he wanted him to incite a fight. Or wanted her to incite a fight. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just like, get free and escape and go to some. It was like, get out and, like, be a problem.
Yeah, and gave the tools to try to help, I would say, awaken Grockle or unpetrify him. Because and then at the end when we got that part, I don't know if it was that chapter or the next chapter when Liz was saying that once David starts a story,
He has to finish it.
he has to finish it. It can't be destroyed. So he has to continue the story that he started with Gwilana.
Which links me back to me thinking that if he finds out he has powers, he won't be able to just kill her.
Yeah.
He'll have to keep his integrity.
But I'm thinking that maybe Xana kills her and replaces. You know, maybe there can only be one Sybil, like the Sith. You know, there can only be 2 at a time.
I don't think so. Excuse me. With her breaking up with David, I'm wary to think that after they free her, she'll either be their friend again. You know what I'm saying? Either her and David are gonna get back together, or she's gonna go, I hate you now, and I hate the Bears because they kidnapped me, and I'm gonna be Gwilaine. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And like maybe they join forces and like make something super terrible, which would suck extra much. You know what I'm saying? Especially because we just learned about the Firestar coming. You know what I'm saying? They kidnapped. They say, "Hey, bro, Firestar's coming. All the dragons are coming back." Kidnap. You know, like.
Yeah, and that's. I mean.
But you know what? Hold on. If Bergstrom is old as hell, and all the girls get kidnapped at 11 to go get trained to make dragons. Who's to say he hasn't had this dragon for hundreds of years? You know what I'm saying? Maybe her great 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 grandmother made her him that dragon, not knowing what she was making.
Well, and that's what I was wondering too, because I've had a couple of theories, right? Because they say that that Xana is a descendant from Guilana, but Guilana goes on to say that she never had any true kids, or maybe that was before. So my theory was because Guilana and Lucy have been in the cave, and Guilana's just been an evil bitch to her and been
The
trying,
whole
you know,
time.
yeah, the
Yeah.
whole time. And so
Forever.
she's like telling her parts of this lore and everything, and so yeah, it's in the second book. You know that part of the deal was for um Guinevere to catch the tear, give it to Ulana for a child.
Yeah.
And
Because she
because
never thought that the dragons would trust her, which is a red flag right there.
yeah, right, yeah, exactly. Especially with the last dragon, I feel like that's a huge responsibility.
That's like telling your friend to go ask your mom if he can spend the night because you know she'll say no to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's already something you shouldn't be doing. Be a man.
And
Or a civil, I don't know.
a Sybil, be a
Be a
woman.
witch.
Yeah, strong,
Be
independent
terrible,
woman.
I guess. Be the terrible person that you are. I hate that lady. Sorry.
But we get that Gulana didn't give the child over because Guinevere didn't hold up her end, right? She kept the tear, and so she kept the child and named it Gwendolyn.
Yep.
And then that child was raised by Guilana, and we just found out that she actually we didn't get an age when she left, but she decided to leave Guilana for the bears.
Yeah, she traded. She's a traitor.
So my theory has always been that Liz's line, they're all what were we calling it with what was Jesus? Immaculate Conception?
Yeah.
Like Immaculate Conception, they mold their baby, bring it to life through Guilana with the clay, blah blah blah. So at one point, since Guilana did that with Gwendolyn, she taught Gwendolyn how to do that, which carried on Liz's line, right?
Mhm.
That's how they've if you have the magic in you like that, you're going down, you're gonna find Liz.
Well, because when the egg first gets quickened, they think they're having a baby child.
Right. Exactly.
Baby human child.
Exactly.
And then Gwylane shows up and turns it into a dragon. Whack. Also, going back to the dragons are not violent in this book, right? When the baby's hungry, she tells Greth to go get her some, or not Greth, Gretel to go get her some leaves, to get Grackle some leaves. They're herbivore. They're eating leaves. He's sniffing the wound on her arm, but not destroying her arm. And they even make a point to say, like, his teeth are sharp and filling his mouth. Like, and he's eating leaves. You know, like...
Maybe some nice ranch dressing.
I don't like a salad as much as the next guy, but, like...
But so then my theory was if you follow that line down, you go to Liz, and then my theory was Gwendolyn had a second child, but natural. You know, like had a husband.
With Bergstrom.
I mean, I hadn't connected those, but I wouldn't doubt it, right? That wouldn't
he's old,
surprise
right?
me. And if he's been, a polar bear for this fucking
Part of the
too.
Bears, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So and she left to be with the Bears. Yeah. 100%. Like
That's
would
a
not be
connected dot.
surprised.
Wow, I can't believe I didn't see that.
And then so that line with the natural birth, so that I guess that's my theory to simplify it down. Clay birth, you go to Liz, and that's like a direct line to the dragon. Natural birth, you get to Xana. Because they just were like talking and saying that Xana and Liz and Lucy are closer to sisters than anything.
Yeah.
Just by like half blood.
Well, you know what's weird too is at one point, which I don't remember this being said, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but Lucy says, I didn't want a tenant, like right at the end of book 2. I didn't want a tenant, and you don't want to be my brother. Which is like, I don't remember her ever asking for a brother, but it's like the dragon egg was supposedly a boy.
Right.
The whole time, right? So it was going to be a baby brother. But it's like David didn't want to be her brother, and now she doesn't get a brother. It's like, did she want a brother? Does she want siblings?
Trying to force it now.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like, what's up with that? Like, is David secretly down the line also related? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, and see, that's what I was saying exactly. Like, where did David come from? Because so far, he's just been some random dude that happens to have the most powerful power in the fucking universe.
In the power of powers.
Yeah, dude.
He is God.
Like, and his 2 dragons are the most powerful dragons.
He's got a death note.
And then he just made one himself. He made a healing dragon. And to where it's got translucent wings, and he's a fix-it DIY dude. But Liz says that that's the first natural healing dragon she's ever seen. Meaning Liz couldn't make one either.
Mm-hmm.
So Why the fuck does David have these abilities? Period.
Oh, you know what I just thought about? I answered my question from earlier, where Greth got his powers. Liz kills them, so she breathes her armor into them.
Yeah. Okay.
That's where the powers come from. But it's like, still for it to not be related to the ice fire? Whack. Maybe it's because he was in a different dimension when everything went down.
Yeah.
You know?
Because he was, and then he went into that second dimension when he
Took Gretel to Bergstrom.
yeah. But
Which,
then
why?
there was a second time though. In this third book, I think it was at the same, maybe not at the same time or right before Lucy got kidnapped, that Graith disappears.
Yeah,
So
he
his
disappears. He gets sad
gets sad into like
after the fight.
yeah, and he gets taken to the Firestar,
Mm-hmm.
and then he's commingling with a being without a physical
Body.
presence,
The fire star.
and he comes back with it, like almost. I wouldn't say possesses him, hitches a ride in the back of his consciousness. And then after that is when we get Grayeth sending a message. He's not with the dragons, but he sent a message through and told David to make a dragon himself, and then that's when he ended up making. I forget his name. I think it's
It's a golly something.
Golly Gosh. You're right.
Yeah.
You're 100% right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I just
What a weird name. I know they all have to start with G's, but come on, man. Golly
yeah,
gosh.
a little on the nose.
I mean,
it it just hurts my mind because David is starting to become a. Oh man, there's a saying for it. A Mary Sue, is that what it is? Where everything just comes nice and easy.
Mary Poppins. No. I don't know.
I'll look it up in editing. Diego will take care of that. But there's a term that just means that if you're the main character, it just, and it's not plot armor. I'm not talking about plot armor, but where if you're the main character, everything happens perfect for you. You always make the right decision. You're always in the best position possible for the scenario, somehow, some way, shape. Even though that's not.
You know, you get crushed into the floor. Your hand somehow miraculously ends up above the rubble with your palm open. And then even though she shoves you below the floorboards and seals it back up, there's still a crack where your hand.
Yeah.
That.
Exactly. And yeah, and exactly because Gulana's had 900 years to sit there and hone her magical craft.
Why doesn't she have a gun?
I mean,
they're in
why
Massachusetts.
doesn't David have a gun?
I'm not saying we could solve this with guns, but like,
I guarantee you, Bacon has them, dude. He was in the military. Yeah, you go walk over and just blast
those
her.
when they were doing a weird upside down interrogation.
That's how you know Bacon's a homie, because he goes in there, fixes things for Elizabeth, no questions asked, dude. He knows shit's funky.
Yeah.
That doesn't look
He's like, that's the
normal.
weird hippie lady next door that makes dragon sculptures. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
fix her electrical because it almost blew up her
Fix
house.
her electrical, fix her cars, takes David in. And from what I understood, I don't think Bacon was getting paid for any of it.
At
He was
all.
just doing it, out of the niceness of his heart, which really turned me around. Because I remember in the first book when I was first reading it, and it's again been a long time since I've read these books, but Bacon was just kind of an asshole.
I didn't like the guy.
Yeah,
He was a dweeb.
seemed like a punk, but now he's just the dude that's been stuck in his ways.
Maybe Lucy next door and Liz that being there soften him up.
This guy gives me almost. This was written in the early 2000s before autism was really in the spotlight, but almost autistic in the way where he's fucking OCD to the max. It needs to be
it's
my way or
military.
the highway.
It's the military.
And I'm sure the military didn't help with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
because they beat it into you, structure, structure, structure. So if you're already there and then you get that extra little oomph,
Yeah.
you end up as a Henry Bacon.
What's what I'm saying? I think the Penny Kettles and David being next door like soften him up. You know what I'm saying? Like making him be a little bit empathetic where he hasn't been before. Because like he stopped trying to kill the squirrel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They were like, he saw how upset Lucy was and was like, all right, dude, like I'll back up. You know what I'm saying? And then like being kind and courteous to David. I mean, there's a ton of rules and they're all kind of stupid. Dave doesn't really spend a lot of time there. Like when he's there, he's in the study with Bacon, in his bed sleeping, sitting on the couch on the phone.
Yeah.
It's not like he's like doing anything that invokes all 40 rules that there is. I mean, yeah, there's 40 rules, but like he's got stuff to do,
Yeah, and to be fair, like the rules weren't anything crazy. It's just like if you're an adult, you expect them to be done anyway. So like, but this whole time I've always been saying David is supposed to be 20, maybe he's 21 or 22 at this point, but he's always given me like 15 to 16-year-old vibes. Just that stage where you don't give a fuck.
Brutish teenager.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, he's, like, trying to fight, but he's also, like, shy. You're like, "Pick one." Are you angry or
And
shy?
I get that the Crystal Lacey, the author, was trying to write a young adult because he's trying to be in college, but to me, he hit the vibe of definitely a teenager.
Yeah, I mean, you could call that a young adult, you know? Some people grow up really fast. I mean, you could be 19 in college and still feel the ways that he does, you know what I'm saying? I mean, people in their 20s that haven't grown out of high school, so maybe that's David, you know?
Yeah, yeah, that's very fair. That's very fair. Oh man, I was just gonna bring some. One thing that didn't carry over, or at least I haven't seen anything, and I don't remember it going forward in the series, is the hedgehog.
He kind of, like, is mentioned a lot at the end of the second book.
That's why I thought it was gonna be something big.
But I think that they tie that to Gaia because I believe it was Zana that says like certain or maybe Sophie that said like certain religions or certain cultures saw that as Mother Gaia, like the white hedgehog. So like maybe that was her presence, and then after she had completed her whatever by Zana giving her Lucy the pendant and then powering it or whatever with the ice crystals, um, she left. You know what I'm saying? Also, it's the middle of the winter, dog, and they had a exposed hutch in the garden,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's Massachusetts, so they're getting feet of snow. The hedgehog should be deep underground or far away.
yeah. I don't know if hedgehogs hibernate or
I
not.
don't know either, but that's why I said or far away. He should be skedaddling. You know, like if he can't survive there, he needs to be doing what he needs to be doing, like the birds do.
Yeah, that's a long trek for a little ass dude.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like he probably does burrow. I mean, hedgehogs they look like they
What
burrow.
are your predictions for the relationship between David and Xana?
Listen, dude, they break up. Valid. I'd dump him too. What a loser. Share keeping secrets from me. We've been this far, bro. Like I have my own dragon now, and I know it's alive. Like, don't lie to me. And then she gets kidnapped. She's either coming back or she's gonna turn evil. Those are the only two options. You know what I'm saying? She's either gonna be like, "Oh my god, you saved me," or she's gonna be like, "I hate you now. I'm gonna kill you."
This is one of the few things I do remember going forward into the series. And, to be fair, it's not a spoiler or a far reach or even a hard guess to know that Xana is going to be a big part of the story going forward. There's 7 books in total. We're in book 3. Xana's going to be here, but I wasn't sure how Xana was going to
They
come
only kissed
back.
twice.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. They did spend some time up there in the Arctic where we didn't get to see what was going on, but supposedly they've been there for a couple of
Yeah,
weeks.
they arrive. They go to a trading post together. They get attacked.
Right, and I do know that when you're cramped up, and because they said it was a very small space and they're sharing it with quite a few people, that when you're that close and you're spending that much time with somebody and you're already dating, there's some
Friction.
extracurricular activities going on. And all I'm going to say are that actions have consequences. And it was an interesting way to keep Xana in the story without making her and David get back together.
Wow. Wow. That's a lot to digest.
And I don't think we get that until maybe the end of book 4 or book
You're
5.
telling me we're gonna wait that long?
Yeah.
It's been years by
Yeah.
that long, brother. I
Oh,
mean,
it literally had been years, buddy, and we don't get that reveal until like it's kind of
as a
crazy.
toddler.
Yeah.
And who's that playing in the sandbox? Oh, that's your
Yeah,
kid.
almost Forrest Gump like, like
Named after his daddy.
exactly named after. Is he smart? One last question or something that I want to bring up is, so we got that David created a natural healing dragon.
Which, do we need a healing dragon?
Well, so that's what I was wondering is
Who's
like,
getting
how is
messed
this
up?
thing going to be coming into play? And so right now, where we're staged is that Xana is out at the Inuit village
Okay.
after she got kidnapped by the polar
Got
bears.
yoinked.
Lucy is with Guilana at Ragnar's Tooth, the island where Gwaine has been laid to rest.
Mm.
And David and Liz are home trying to make a plan. They just created healing dragons. So my thought was, are they going to somehow spin the situation? Because up until this point, David has been trying to stop Lilana's plan, period. With the healing dragon, and I don't remember this, I is their plan going to be to use the healing dragon and raise Gwen themselves and try to do it in a respectful way. I don't
Or is
know.
it to heal Grackle?
Oh,
Bring him back.
I didn't even think about that.
Because they said he was the next true dragon. He's a true dragon.
And it would be easier because he hasn't shed his tear. He just got
He's turned to
hardened.
stone. He's petrified.
He got hardened because what? I think Liz didn't give him
Alma.
his armor.
Well, because she was trying to transfer all of Liz's Alma.
Right. And we also got to the part where Liz gave that lock of hair to Gretel and said, do anything to protect David.
Hmm.
So, yeah, dude, I didn't even think
Yeah,
about
because
him.
Grackle never got to eat Liz's hair.
No, because he was born without fire, and that's why he was. Oh man, that's a good thought.
They could heal Grackle.
And it would be cool because then you get to see the full life cycle of a dragon, and you get to see, it start from this egg that was probably, like maybe a solid handful, maybe like I'm thinking like ostrich egg size,
Yeah.
like a big egg.
I don't know, ostrich size. That sounds big.
I guess you're right, dude. Those things are fucking huge. But so I guess my thoughts, or no, I guess you just answered that. You think it might have something to do with Grackle. Do you, if Grackle is brought alive, does he side with Gulan or does he side with the Penny
I think he
Kettles?
sides with Liz.
Yeah. I
Or
mean, you
maybe
would
he sides with
assume,
Zana.
right? See, and that's where I exactly because that's why if you're bringing in another Sybil, it has to be a passing a power, passing a post, passing a just that because Gulan has been there for 900 years, so it's time for a new regime to take over.
That's so long.
No, oh, dude, and who even wants to do that?
People play so much Minecraft.
You've been doing the same thing for 900 years and you failed.
You're so bad at your job. You're still doing it 900 years later.
Yeah, like, bro, fucking grow up. All right. Well, I mean, that kind of brings up everything that I can think about and wanted to talk about. What are your predictions slash wants going forward?
Well, I want to know what happens with this child Force Gump toddler. I want to know what happens with that. I want to know what the healing dragon's for, because like the more I think about it, like what if it's for the bears? What if they heal Ragnar? You know what I'm saying? What if he gets his tooth back and then he's all powerful again? What if they find the body of that polar bear cub that was clubbed by humans and they can bring that back and that's significant somehow? Who knows? I definitely want David to figure out what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's got to be staring him right in the face. He's got to be aware of this, especially now that he's home, especially now that everyone's kidnapped and all of these missions. It's not going away. He might have thought that she was dead. She's not. He's writing about her. He's keeping her alive. He's going to figure it out eventually. But, I mean, most of all, I just want to know what's going on with the dragons. I just want to know what's going on with the dragons. And the Firestar, yeah, it's like a big meteor. It's coming to Earth. That's what it feels like.
I feel like it too, even if it's just some kind of magical force that the
Seems some
fire,
like blood moon type stuff.
yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
The
Yeah.
red comet that brings the
All of
dragon.
the dragons that are currently active will turn huge. You're like, I mean, some of them they're gonna be huge and make the whole neighborhood smell nice. Like, which is where the tier is. You know, they poured it into the ocean at the ice cap. That's what formed all the ice, which is a pretty cool little way to like make kids care
Explain it
about.
away.
Well, like make kids care about the environment. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine you love this book, and then in this book, it's like, yeah, man, and right now in your life, you're melting the ice caps. And killing
Yeah,
polar
the
bears.
Arctic is
Like,
no
why give a
longer.
shit? You know what I'm saying? I might go home and tell my mom that she's buying an electric car or something. I won't, but like maybe, you know. So it's like it's a cool little nod to like environmentalism and like keeping everything safe and stuff.
All right. So this new question that I'm going to ask to end this episode is between David's three dragons. I guess technically he has four because he has Grace, but that's not really his. He's just
No,
kind
Sophie
of
took
there.
Grace.
Well, but she gave Grace back when she went to Africa.
No. When she comes back from Africa, she breaks up with David, and they split amicably. She takes her dragon with her,
She does.
and the ears are somehow fixed that David snapped off.
Well, I think Liz fixed her. I'm pretty sure Liz fixed her.
They don't say.
They didn't.
They just say
I guess
that.
I just assumed.
Yeah.
But so between those three dragons, between Golly Gosh, Gadzooks, and Grayeth, who do you think is the most powerful?
Oh.
Or if you maybe not most powerful, if you want to go the most influential to this story.
It's gotta be Gadzooks, 'cause he's the riding dragon, you know what I'm saying? Which, by all accounts, if it's not the universe giving David these powers, it's Gadzooks. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if it's not him making it so that David's writing reality, it's nothing else. I mean, that's cool. Wish and Dragon, that Liz stopped him from using to keep him and Zana together because that's a bad wish. Which, what constitutes a good wish? I don't know. It seems like something. It's not a terrible wish.
Right.
It doesn't seem like it's gonna end the world. I'm not thinking broadly about it, I guess, but like, could have wished for her to get his message. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Or like be safe. But Liz probably would have stopped that shit too. So who really, what's up with that? And listen, man, Healing Dragon, cool. I love playing healers in video games. I love it. All right, that is the stupidest name. I'm gonna have a hard time reading it.
Yeah,
I th-
golly
I
gosh.
thought I had a hard time with Snigger. I'm gonna have a real hard time. I'm gonna have a real hard time being not reading it and going, ugh,
It's actually Snigga.
Snigger. Sorry for the hard art.
Oh man, all right. Well, thank you so much, Colin, for joining me. I had a great time kind of reviewing this. I definitely needed some second opinions on what I had read, so to get a second voice on it just helps a lot. Do you have anything that you want to talk about or plug or anything?
Absolutely not. No, just your show. Support Emigo. He's the best.
Thanks. This will be the first time I'm saying anything like this. I'm not good. I'll have to get it down before it's a routine. But the best way to spread the show is by word of mouth. I can do as much as possible. But if you guys like the show, please tell your friends, tell your family. This series is technically for 8 to 12-year-olds.
Tell strangers with kids. Just, hey, you got a kid. Hey, come here. You got a kid. Come here. Let me show you this on YouTube, and just plug it. It's
And
that easy.
just fair warning, this is an all ages podcast, and me and Mike on this next episode that's coming out next week kind of talk about it. I guess I've been saying it wrong with all ages because I mean that by saying 18 plus as well, and Mike Schubert means it as 18 and under. So he goes no cussing, and I mean that there is cussing. So if there are guests, the way that I like to have it be is that we're just sitting down in a room conversating like we're friends. I mean, most of these people that have been on are my friends. I'm rambling. I'm sorry. Either way, I want it to be genuine. I want it to be what their real thoughts are. So let me know what you guys think as well. And I hope you have a safe flight out. Hit no turbulence.